talk about many things that we should do today, like vitamin D3, calcium supplements. Now I want to talk about something that we shouldn't do, and I come up with the topic of the most poisonous food that you can eat to destroy you. So can you tell me what is on your list? I mean, there would be a lot like beer or wine or cigarette. A lot of them would be bad for us. But like for a normal everyday life setting, what do you think is the most poisonous thing that a person can eat to destroy themselves or to bring in a lot of diseases?
I think one of the most problematic foods that people don't talk about a lot is deep fried foods. And we get these in all cultures around the world. They're just yummy and they're popular kind of junk foods and street food, and they're cheap, and it's just a cheap way to make something taste good. And we know for sure, so that there are nutritional issues with a lot of deep fried foods, and I'll get into that as well. But the biggest concern is that we know for sure that there are chemical byproducts created in deep frying. High temperature cooking in oil creates specific chemicals that we know cause cancer. So deep fried foods, traditional deep fried like restaurant foods that are immersed in boiling oil, actually create these chemicals that are known carcinogens. And there is consensus about this. It's not
Scientific.
There's scientific consensus. Medicine agrees on this, that deep fried foods are problematic for this reason. The second level of layer of problems with deep fried foods is nutrition, because the oils that we are deep frying in are normally low quality oils. They're already low quality oils that are not very good for us. Some people have canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, different, and whatever they're using. Sometimes in restaurants you'll see that they're using something that is just called vegetable oil. And that it's like you don't even know the source of the oil. It's just kind of mystery industrial vegetable oil. So all of these oils can be problematic for certain people. Some people are directly reacting even to uncooked or unheated canola oil or corn oil or soybean oil. But the problem with these oils is we then take them and heat them at very high temperatures, and you're basically burning food in the oil at high temperature, and you're reusing that oil
So many times.
so the molecules of the oil, which are already questionable in this range of commonly used oils, already they're not very healthy. There's a lot of debate and discourse on that topic right now, and it's not consensus, but it's being debated. We used to think canola oil was healthy, and a lot of people say now that it's really not healthy, that it's a slow it's a slow poison, and there's a lot of debate and ongoing right now.
Actually regulate that. They just said that it's healthy, it's good for
Yeah.
the heart.
Yeah.
It says that on the bottle.
Well, back in the 90s, they did a couple of studies, and somebody decided it was healthy. They decided they were going to promote canola oil. They even changed the name because they didn't like the sound of the name. It used to be called rapeseed oil, and they changed the name to canola. In any case, when you take these lower quality oils and you overheat them, you actually damage the molecules of the oil, and you create free radicals. You create a fat that the body cannot use efficiently. So it's like if you built a house with bricks that were damaged, or bricks that were made of sugar, the bricks just wouldn't do their job properly over time. So your body is kind of made of fat. Fat is an essential building block for your body, and especially your brain and your nervous system. So when you're taking in these lower quality oils that are damaged by heat, you're basically building your house out of materials that won't hold up. Okay, so you're going to cause immune system overreaction. You're going to cause poor tissue quality, tissue strength, and then you're going to have an inflammatory and autoimmune response in the body that might create skin problems, might create eventually as well contribute to cancer. Skin problems, digestive problems, and buildup of poor, low quality fats in the different organ systems that process fat.
So, I'm a fan of deep fried food, and I believe that many people also favors deep fried food. At home, I use coconut oil, and I also use olive oil and sesame oil. Would that be okay if I use that to fry food? Is that going to be better than the other oil?
There is some debate around frying foods in oil at all, and there's a lot of argument among doctors, among scientists, as well as in the natural medicine community. But it's an ongoing debate. I believe that if you take a high quality oil and you don't burn it, you don't overheat it, and it's single use oil, so you're either throwing away the oil after you use it one time, or you're consuming the oil with your meal. I think there's no harm in doing that.
Okay.
So,
I want to talk also about butter and lard. Would it be better if we use butter and lard to fry food than the vegetable oil out there?
I think that it's better than mystery vegetable oil. This is debatable. This is not scientific consensus, but there's more and more evidence coming out that that we've undervalued saturated fats, high quality, undamaged saturated fats that are not heat processed, that are not damaged. We've undervalued these, and we've blamed these fats excessively for health problems that they don't directly cause. So they've been kind of a scapegoat for a lot of health problems over the years, and we're realizing now that they don't cause those health problems, and that a certain amount of those fats have an important health benefit. But that's still ongoing debate. Personally, I like to use a lot of butter. I like to eat a reasonable amount of saturated fat from healthy animals, and I'm more afraid of industrial oils like canola and soybean oil and things like that than I am of saturated fat and animal products. Yeah.
Okay, so lard is actually not so bad because many people say to me that it's bad, but like I believe that a while ago our grandparents and our parents, they used that to fry eggs and to fry meat and other things, and I don't think they have that much of a problem compared to us right now. This generation right now is facing a lot of problem.
It was hard to tell then because we didn't have the same level of the same way of analyzing data scientifically, and we had a lot of other limits to longevity and a lot of other stressors, like smoking was considered okay back then, and people drank every day in many cases, and there were a lot of, people were cooking with fire in their homes and inhaling the smoke from that. So people definitely didn't live as long as they do now, right? But that's what science does, is that we slowly pick out individually which things are real problems and which things are not, and we start to understand. In the past, we've often confused correlation with causation. And that does give us an indicator, that does give us a good guess as to what might be causing the problem, but it's not always an accurate answer. We have to actually test, and we have to actually pull out accurate data on each individual topic.
So, to summarize everything, we should not use a vegetable oil. We should use better quality oil, like let's say coconut oil or butter, and it should be only a single time use. Or you can
it's really hard to quickly summarize everything about fats, because it's same with dairy. The discussion of dairy, the discussion of which fats are healthy and which are not, it's a big topic. So even butter, if you decide to use butter, you want to choose butter that is good quality. There's a lot of fake butter out there. There's a lot of butter that has soybean oil or other things added to it. There's a lot of butter that has things like milk powder added to it to make it creamier and make it taste more delicious. So the butter is very poor quality or partly fake, and then they add milk powder to it. I see that a lot in Asia, actually. So it's important to choose butter. I recommend from grass-fed animals, from naturally raised grass-fed animals, and if possible, if you can afford it, to get organic butter or
organic grass-fed?
Yeah, if possible.
okay.
If not, it's easy to find grass-fed butter from Australia and New Zealand, and
So the
some.
brand from Australia and New Zealand is fairly okay to use.
Yes.
Like good quality.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you'll notice a difference in the way you feel compared to normal industrial, like the cheapest butter you can find, or fake butter. You'll notice an immediate difference in how you feel and how that digests.
Okay.
What was I going to say about oil? So everyone's heard about the oils that are best for cooking. So olive oil, coconut oil, those are the most popular ones. Some people would say for raw purposes, like salad dressings and stuff like that, a lot of the cold pressed organic nut and seed oils are fine. Avocado oil is getting a lot of attention. It's healthy now. So avocado oil can be a good one. And then nut oils, or like pumpkin seed oil, things like that, can be really healthy. So almost all, but they must be cold pressed. Cold pressed nut and seed oil, and those most of those should not be cooked.
Okay.
So there are some exceptions, like sesame oil you can cook with, but pumpkin seed oil or hazelnut oil or things like that.
I don't see a lot of pumpkin oil in Vietnamese supermarket.
They're more expensive, they're a little hard to find, and they're considered a sort of investment there.
But olive oil is not so difficult. Coconut oil, there is a brand here in Vietnam that they only produce things from coconut, and I really like that brand. And sesame oil is something that is easily found, and roasted or raw. So it's important that we find cold press, so it has all of the nutrient that is good for you. So you should pay attention to the quality, because whatever you put in your body is gonna make you inflame, make you sick. So thank you for your sharing.